Hi everyone, this is Cherry Enchantress with Pixie Dust Tarot, and this is your daily dust for Sunday, July 2nd, if you're watching in real time, but it can also be for whenever you stumble upon it. It's a timeless reading as well. I'm using the Enchanted Romance Tarot that I created myself, and it is a beautiful romantic deck full of pre-Raphaelite arts. On behalf of this month, that theme, which is romantic theme, and that was by request. So I'm doing a romantic themed deck month, and we'll see how long that goes. I use both tarot and oracle, but for now, the Enchanted Romance. So let's see what we get. It's a really lovely deck that is kind of it's going to be a rare deck. It's one of those that you have to special order if you want it. Shuffles nicely, and it has this beautiful rainbow edge. One more time. Okay, let's pick from the middle. We have the King of Swords. That came out once already. The Hanged Man. And, ooh, the Page of Cups. Very nice. All right, let's zoom on in and see what message we get. I think the last time the King of Swords came out, I talked a little astrology, but the King of Swords can represent air signs like Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Also, the Hanged Man represents Pisces. Sometimes I see it as possible Aquarius, like a person who thinks outside the box. The pages represent messengers, young people, students learning, communication, and as the Page of Cups, this communication has to do with love, and sometimes it can represent pillow talk, words of endearments, words of affirmation as a love language, courtly kind of words and desires. It could be the proposal even. It could be poems in the language of love, the way your loved one talks to you, just in that sweet way that just touches your heart. It also can represent intuition and compassion. It also represents artistry and maybe a student of art, somebody who's very faithful and sensitive and sentimental and understanding. This is like coming from the heart. This is a very loving and giving kind of person if it represents a person. If it represents a person, it can also represent somebody who's young, and water signs like Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So we have Pisces twice here. Whether they're young or not, they could just be maybe a young voice or young way of expressing themselves, or a youthful outlook on life. It's possible that you might be connecting with somebody like that today. The King of Swords is intellect and wisdom and authority and strength and in their authority. It's they have a lot of control. They're a strong leader type. Maybe they're even a genius or somebody who's an expert. So we had that expert come out the other day. This person's very intelligent. He could be a commander of some sort, firm and fair, could be a judge even. He has high standards and very powerful and tactical and truthful and decisive, and he has a strong purpose, but he's also based in reality and also ingenuity, and he has an impeccable character. The Hanged Man is the only major arcana here, but whenever a major arcana card comes out, then you know you have extra help from outside sources like spiritual help and higher self-help. And it's about suspension, sometimes sacrifice and surrender. looking outside the box, trying to get a different point of view, taking a, like literally sometimes hanging upside down or just looking at things in a different way. Suddenly you see it, see something that you didn't see before. It's generally a new outlook and a change of perspective. It could be something big and heavy like transcendental meditation, transcendence, illumination, enlightenment, some kind of altered state. In fact, it could be out of body traveling, astral traveling, stuff like that. But it has to do with a specific perspective and insight. So on a very simple, mundane kind of way, on a day that's just a regular day, it could be just like an aha moment, or just one of those seeing something in a different point of view, and then you're like, oh, stars above. So and it's funny, I see that sometimes the the genius types, like the King of Swords represent, sometimes they are very intelligent, but maybe lack a certain common sense, a certain common way of looking at things. And when they see this sort of common idea, then they realize, oh, and a lot of times people who are very in their mind or intellectual sometimes forget to tap into their heart, or even realize when somebody has a heart connection with them, or if somebody's trying to flirt with you. So this could be a lot of those kinds of things where you're just doing your mental activities and somebody's actually trying to send you some kind of sign or signal and flirt with you or use their words of endearment. Maybe you just see them as an affectionate person, but maybe their words mean that they actually like you. So it could be something like that too, like a day where you normally think logically and something's pulling you to see it more with your heart. And you realize, okay, I see now what's happening here. So somebody's actually feels this way, and it could be about you, or it could be about the future, or it could be something you have in common, and you were thinking maybe you didn't have a lot in common, but now you see, oh yes, you're right, we are a lot alike, or we do have this in common, or you do feel the same way I feel about you. That's neat. I like this Hanged Man because we have the two people here, and so it's like the two fish, one swimming up, one swimming down, and it's almost as if the Hanged Man doesn't even realize the beautiful mermaid is draped over him, and she's quite seductive in her pose and everything, and it's starting to dawn on this page, younger fella, that this person has an interest, and so he's able to open up and show his interest back in the person. So I think that's very sweet. It feels like a possible young person, but it could also be an older person, and anything in between too. I just feel like this is a person who maybe is kind of logical and sometimes not very open with their emotions, and maybe kind of like a child, not child, but sort of a youthful attitude, a young attitude. Whether they're old or young, they're very young in attitude. Whether they're male or female, whether you see yourself as the interest or the one that's interested in the person, you decide where you are in this reading. But I see two people that are kind of communicating in a kind of shy way and discovering things about how they feel about each other. All right, so I hope you like that. Play Trust and Pixie Dust.